are back with another episode of Getting into the Best Shape of My Life at year 28. And this video is going to be a little more of a different and interesting video. Mostly because we kind of ran into some issues right off the bat, which I knew was going to be the case, which is exactly why I wanted to start this series. So a few weeks ago, or not even a few weeks ago, a couple of days ago, a week ago pretty much, I decided, let me get some blood work done. Truth be told, I have not been feeling my best. I have not felt my best in quite some time. Low energy levels, brain fog, very fatigued, very tired, very irritated. I don't know if that's just like a normal thing that I have, but pretty frustrated and pretty annoyed. And the reason being is because my thyroid is messed up. Whenever I went into this blood work, I kind of already knew what it is I was dealing with because I dealt with it in the past. But lo and behold, my thyroid is messed up. I'll actually kind of throw the markers up right here. My TSH is through the roof. If you don't know what that is, it's your thyroid stimulating hormone. It essentially tells your body to release T3 and converts into T4, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a thyroid expert. But essentially, my body is not secreting enough T3, which in the return makes me feel not the best. Now, what does this mean? How does this happen? Where does this stem from? This stems from a few things. One, inflammation. And two, a messed up gut. And three, high amounts of stress, which kind of correlates with inflammation. Personally, my gut, I don't think it's that bad because truthfully, I don't eat like an asshole how I used to. I don't binge eat like how I used to. That's not really something that I do. If I ever mess up on my diet, it's probably me having sweet potatoes, zucchini, and some beef, which people hearing that would be like, Alfonso, that is not you messing up on your diet. I'll be like, yeah, you're right. It's just not on my diet plan. But these foods are kind of causing me issues. So that is literally the worst that I do. And also energy drinks, but I've kind of cut those out recently. So I'm going to wait until, I fully heal from those. Carbonated beverage definitely get me as well. But overall, my gut really isn't that bad. What I think is getting me, though, is stress and inflammation. I don't like saying that I'm stressed out because I'm not. Yes, I do have a lot on my plate. Yes, there are some things that are stressing me out that I'm personally dealing with. But there's no one's doing but mine, right? But outside of that, I really wouldn't say that I'm stressed. I really wouldn't say that I'm like a walking ball of stress. What I think it's coming down to, because I'm very aware of my patterns and I'm very aware as to how I operate and why I operate. And I have this thing where I ask myself why I do certain things. And I've noticed this pattern recently. I'm not going to go into detail about it, where essentially during a certain time frame, I'll do very well. I'll switch up that I take that back. A certain time frame, I'm not doing so great. I switch up everything. I start doing great. I get back to being here. I'm not doing great. And I think a lot of that stems down to my routine and my structure and my schedule. I'm a very routine person. I love routine. I love structure. I love having systems. It's how I operate. It's what made me really love bodybuilding in the first place and why I got into bodybuilding and the fitness, because I just love the routine that comes with living a healthy lifestyle and living that bodybuilder lifestyle. I wouldn't say I live that now, but somewhat close, right? But whenever I don't have that, and whenever I don't have like daily, I want to say daily objectives, but like daily goals where I know something absolutely has to get done, my body fights against me pretty bad. I know you might be thinking like, Fonzo, what do you mean? What I mean is essentially if I kind of wake up, right, I know I'm going to do these certain tasks in the sense of my morning routine because these are just things that I've always done. But if I just kind of go throughout my day and I'm like, I'm just going to do a bunch of stuff and hope it produces a result, but not necessarily like having direct targets, it kind of bugs me. It kind of stresses my body out. It's just something that I've kind of learned about myself throughout the years, where it's like, man, I have to have a daily carrot to chase. And fortunately enough, I know what to do to get back on that. So that's what I've been doing, was like, hey, I need you to do these certain things, right? I normally wake up around 6, 7, which isn't that bad, but ideally I like to get up around 6 just because it gives me enough time to kind of like get my morning going and like, get the ball rolling. But I normally get up around 6 or 7 or 6:37, and I need to bank that 6. I normally eat, I normally start work around 8, but sometimes I'll start at 8:30. I normally will eat around noon, but sometimes I'll eat at 11 or 12:30 or 1, and sometimes I'll, eat at 4 or 5 and then train at 6, or sometimes I'll eat at 3:30 and train at 5:30. And what I'm getting at, I know this may not make sense, is that these small things I think are kind of throwing me off. So it's just getting back onto those things and really just dialing everything into a very complete routine and complete structure. So that way my body can operate at the way that it needs to. Another thing that I think does get me just a little bit, full of transparency, I work from home. I work mostly from coffee shops, to be honest with you. And because of that, I may not get the most human interaction. And in the past, it used to really bother me. Now it really doesn't, because I really could care less. I love talking to people though. So that's kind of a daily thing that I do, is I try to compliment one stranger at the gym, at the coffee shop. I try to talk to every single person that I know. It is just something that I do. But I do think whenever you go long stints of time without talking to someone, one, it's very easy to get in your head, but two, I do think there's some type of scientific data that can almost prove this, where your body gets really stressed out. And I think that's what mine does personally, is it gets really stressed out. So overall, what it's going to take in order for me to kind of figure this out is to get back into a very strict routine. Not super strict where it's do or die, but it's kind of like that. And number two, just kind of continue to push myself, get into more community, get into more environments, get around more people, and really just surround myself with people, to be honest with you, because that is something that I may be lacking. I don't think it's this big thing as I think it once was, but I do think it contributes to stress, inflammation, to cortisol. So it's really just kind of diving into that, and also maybe a few other personal things where it's hey man, we got to look at the writing on the wall here, and this is why it's causing all of these issues. Now, where do we go from here, knowing that we have all these issues, right? Well, actually, before we jump on that, I kind of touched on this, but gut health, right? That's going to be a big one, just because I also think I have SIBO. If you don't know what that is, it's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where essentially it's kind of like this pouch that you have at the end of your stomach, the bottom of your stomach. It's almost like you're bloated all the time, not even a pouch, but I'll wake up first thing in the morning, and instead of having a flat stomach, I can normally do a vacuum, and my rib cage is very strong and I can see it. Hopefully you guys can also not hear my dishwasher and washer going at the same time, but it is what it is. But essentially I'll wake up and I'm just bloated. And I have this lower abdominal pudge just popping out, my abs against my stomach wall. And that is not a good thing, right? So I'm going to have to figure that out. But where do we go from here? Number one, I've been working with someone to kind of help me clean up my diet. I'm not working with them officially. They're just more or less helping me out just because of where I'm at right now. And that's honestly been super helpful, because just kind of lowering inflammation, getting my gut to respond. We are using certain supplements that I have not used in the past, to be honest with you, that make me a little bit nervous. But I know they're super helpful in the sense of a synthetic thyroid, just to kind of get my energy levels a little bit higher, just to kind of get my, almost the engine rolling. So that way I'm not having this 2 p.m. crash every single day, because obviously that is not a good feeling. And the third thing that we're doing is really just, like I said, doing the small things, but not the small things that most people think about. It's the small things in the sense of hey, let's get some sunlight first in the morning. Don't look at your phone. Hey, let's take 10 to 20 minutes to just relax in the morning. Don't look at your phone. Hey, let's go on a morning walk, get some sun in your eyes. Hey, let's, put your feet in the grass, which I will say I got to be a little cautious out here because dogs like to poop and piss everywhere, which is great, but, sometimes people don't pick that shit up and it's really annoying. But it's hey, let's, touch grass. Let's bring things back. Something that I've been doing that's actually been helpful, and I don't even know where my phone's at, I haven't been using social media. It's been really nice, to be honest with you, to not be on my phone, because I think that was a big contributor to my stress. I work on my laptop all day. I work on my phone all day as well, just social media stuff that I do for the company that I work for. And I'm just always on my phone. So even just kind of removing that outside of my job has been a huge blessing. So it's really just getting myself to do those small things so that way, my weight and my body can continue to function the way that it needs to. Now, moving forward, I will say this too, just because these videos have been more or less sit-down videos, mostly because I just kind of want to make sure I still get the videos up, is definitely start to expect more interactive videos, more cinematic videos. I believe that's the word. Actually, I don't even know if that's the word. But essentially more videos where there's a lot more to it than just me sitting down, because truthfully, that's pretty boring. But overall, as we're kind of continuing throughout this journey and me posting, as well, just like on other topics, these are things that I just want to touch on, man, because my health is obviously very important, right? Because if you don't feel good, you don't look good, you don't operate the way that you need to, right? I would say right now, on a scale of 1 to 10 of it being very honest with just like where I'm at, probably say a 5 or 4 in the sense of how I feel, how I look, etc. Which is crazy because in the past I'm like, oh, I'm a 10 out of 10. But for being honest here, like I mentioned in the first video, I'm like a 5 or a 4. And it's like, man, how much better would it be if I was an 8 or a 9 or a 10? So it's just kind of getting myself to that point. So that is today's update on the sense of getting myself into the best shape of my life for year 28. We'll be back again with another video this weekend. A lot more of a better video, hopefully, because we're getting in a snowstorm or whatever in Oklahoma, but we'll see. It's probably just some panic tactic because everyone's at the grocery store this morning, or today. Just kidding. It's a joke. But we'll be back again with another video later this week. See you guys in the next one.